What's up, guys? Welcome. I'm going to be playing some rapid chess on chess.com and explaining my thought process behind each move. And hopefully you can learn something here. So I'm playing the Scandinavian defense, very aggressive opening where we counterattack the center right away. And white is basically saying, no thanks. I don't really want to deal with that. So I'm going to push by since they let me and force the knight to move. And I'm going to play something that I like to play, d3. And my point here is not that I want to take this back, because then I would put my queen in line with the bishop and I have to worry about the bishop attacking me when this knight moves. I'm actually just going to leave that pawn there. And the idea is that with these pawns in the way, white's pieces are going to have a hard time getting out, right? The pawns are essentially blocking them, okay? And so I'm just going to make sure. Okay, there we go. There we go. I am live. Hey, Ryan. Good to see you. Okay, so yeah, white, see, they think for a little bit, and then they decide, you know what? I really don't want that pawn. Here, just take it back, because I want to get my pieces out, right? They want to get their bishop out. They want to push this one to get this bishop out. And so probably a smart decision. Now I'll go ahead and take it. And, uh-oh, I've got forked. I'm going to lose my knight because they have two attackers. I only have one defender, right? Wrong. I can simply retreat, and then I don't lose the knight. But they do get to kind of do what they wanted to do, get their pawn up in the center. So that's probably a good decision on their part to sacrifice the pawn. So I'm worried about this move, right? This knight is pinned. I can't move it. I'd be in check. And the pawn's going to attack my knight, which would be a problem, right? So, oh, you know what, guys? This is a members-only stream, and it's supposed to be a public stream. That's why nobody's joining. Uh-oh. I'm going to have to cancel. Ryan and Alexandra, sorry. I was wondering what was going on, and I just realized that I forgot to change the visibility. There was an old setting. All right, we're gonna cancel. We're gonna pause, and I'm just gonna redo it. Sorry about that. Actually, I wonder if I can. I wonder what happens if I make it public right now. Let me try that. Let me just see what happens before I cancel it. If I go public, done, save. Okay, let's see if everybody joins now. Hold on. Let's see if it worked. All right, guys, if you are just joining now, this live stream was accidentally set to members only, and I just made it public. So I'm trying to see if people are going to join. Okay, let me just give it a second. Okay, there's some non-members. Hey, Tom. All right. What's up, guys? We had some technical difficulties. Sorry about that. Okay, question for everybody who just joined. Can you, if you go back to the very start of this live stream, can you see everything, or did you just join from like mid-game? Can someone tell me that while I'm thinking about what to do? I'm going to play bishop d7. I want to break the pin. I don't like the pin, so I'm going to put my bishop there. You see everything. Okay, cool. Wait, you see everything or mid-game? You just joined from mid-game? Okay, but if you scroll back, it'll let you see the beginning? Okay. Good to know. So I don't need to like re-upload anything. It's already good. Everything if you scrub back. Cool. Yeah, so if you guys want to see the beginning, you can... Okay, awesome. Sorry about that, guys. I messed it up because I accidentally set it to members only. Okay. Now that we got that taken care of. So my knight's obviously under attack. I'm going to move it. Pawns are worth 1. This is worth 3. I don't want to get captured. The question is where to move it to. We can't go here. We lose the knight. Looks like here to create the attack on the queen and kind of keep my knight centralized. This would be an annoying threat. I'm pretty sure white's going to stop that, though. I expect something like queen b3 is what I'm anticipating. And we will see what they're going to do. So let's say they do go queen b3, attack me here and defend this. Oh, they go queen d4 instead. Interesting. Okay. So attacking the knight. I mean, I guess I just have to move my knight. I don't want to play f6. Even though, okay, you defend your knight, right? No. Then I can't move my knight there. it weakens this diagonal. That's definitely not the move we want to play. So I'm going to just move it back here. I think that's a much safer option. And I really want to play e6. I really want to play e6 as soon as I can because I need this bishop to be into the game. Knight f6, I have to be careful because if he pushes another pawn forward, I might really just run out of space. Have to go back, which would be a bad thing. That's why I think I want to go here and trade off one of these pawns. Yep, let's go ahead and do it. Of course, if they take, and trade, I'm happy because my rook gets to come over, and my rook would be controlling this file, which would be great. So I'm not worried about the capture. They play knight c3. Okay, so we need to really figure out how do we develop these pieces. We cannot leave these pieces stuck on the back rank, right? Or we're going to get into trouble. So the first thing I'm going to consider is if I just bring my knight out, are there any dangers, right? We already talked about the capture here, not worried about that. We need to talk about if the pawn pushes forward. But then I could just take, and it's just a big trade, and I think that's fine. Bishop g5 is a pin, but I would have bishop e7. So with all that said, I think knight f6 is a safe move. Let's go ahead and play it. Okay, he does pin my knight, and I don't want to just sit around and allow this to happen where he can attack me, right? So usually when you have a pinned piece, you should start thinking, okay, how can I deal with this? I don't want to leave this just sit here. And so the move that makes the most sense is bishop e7. We deal with the pin that way, and we get ready to castle. We complete our development. We've got all of our knights and bishops off of the back rank. And so that move kind of checks all the boxes as far as what would be a good move. So I think we have a pretty solid position now. I would like to castle, get my king out of the center, but overall looking pretty nice so far. Now, I will point out, white's queen looks very well placed. It's doing a lot. My queen is very passive, right? So I don't love that dynamic about the position. But usually when you're in a situation like that, just trading off a couple of pieces can really help kind of free up your position. So for example, if I were to take, he takes, I take, he takes, I take, something like that would free it up. Okay, h4, interesting move. So white is basically saying, I see that you want a castle and I'm going to attack you if you do that. At least that's what I think is going on. Yeah, so that would be annoying if I castle and h5 happens because then this knight has to go back to h8, which we do not want. We don't want to put our knight in the corner. So I am going to have to pause on castling for just a minute. I could consider h6, get rid of this bishop. Have to leave somewhere, probably back here or here. And then castle, but then the same problem. h5 is pretty annoying. Let's see, what else can we play? c5, just trying to distract somewhere else. On Pasan, I'm not worried about. The queen could just move. I don't know how much I accomplish. It does open up my queen, so that's definitely something to think about. h5 kind of looks nice because we stop the pawn, but whenever you play a move like h5, then this guy is going to be hard to move, right? Like right now I could play h6 and make it leave, which is kind of a nice move to have. Yeah, let's do it. I'm going to either force them to trade or retreat. I think that's what we're going to do. And then I still have to decide. Maybe I'll play c5 next. Oh, he takes. Okay, I was not expecting that. Interesting. Oh, he wants to go d6. I did not consider this at all. So obviously we can't take. There's 2 defenders, 2 attackers. Here there's 3 defenders, 3 attackers, so we can't take that either. So it looks like I don't have an option. I have to go back, right? d6, takes, then... yeah, I think it's okay, though. Even though there's d6, we could still just go back. So, for example, takes, and then we go here. So it looks pretty scary, but I think our position's pretty solid. Okay, I didn't consider that one. H5 is kind of annoying. Looks like I have to go back. We can't really move anywhere else. Let me go do that quickly. Yeah, the problem with this is it stops it from castling, so that's very annoying. Very annoying pawn push there. And I am down on time, so I'm going to try to move a little bit faster here. I think knight h7 and castling, though, looks good, maybe. Because now that they've pushed this pawn up, they've opened up the g5 square. And so we could actually reroute the knight there. Okay, so they castle queenside. Yeah, I think we have to get the knight and try to castle. I don't really see any other moves that look... I don't want to take and allow the knight to just jump in. So let's go here. Castling is next on my plan. And this is fine. This, I think, is fine. We just reroute over here. Bishop d3. I'm okay if they want to trade off their bishop, so we could just castle. So yeah, I think we just castle next move. I don't think, unless I'm missing something, I don't think white can stop us from castling. Okay, he does go bishop d3. Like I said, I'm going to go ahead and castle. If they really want to take that knight, they can, but it doesn't look like it does too much. Or, oh, there's queen e4. Ooh. Okay, queen e4 might be... The thing about queen e4 that I didn't realize before is it's threatening checkmate. Now I do have to move my knight, but if I go here, they just take it. I have a check. But then f4, and I have a problem. Do you guys see the problem? I have one, two. I have two things to deal with. Okay, so we're forced to play a move I didn't want to play, but we're forced to play f5. Block it off, and if they en passant me, at least my knight gets to jump in to a decent square with tempo, and it also defends. So thankfully I had this move available, but kind of was a little bit surprised by queen e4, to be honest with you. But this is a good, this is a good learning opportunity. When you're facing pressure on this diagonal, a lot of times f5 is going to be a good option. Even in this case where they can en passant, because we have knight f6, right? And so they decide to go back. Okay, and they're attacking here. So how do we not lose a pawn? Or worse. If I take, queen takes, we're probably okay. What if the knight takes? Bishop e6. Is that the best option for me, though? Sometimes just letting them take you is the best thing. What if I go queen e8 and then put my bishop on c6? Takes, bishop e6. Am I missing something obvious here? Checked. Okay, I don't see it. I'm going to go for it. I don't see it. It's scary, but I don't see how white's going to take advantage of this after bishop e6. Here I have rook f6, so you can't do that. You can't take that. Yeah, I think bishop e6 saves me. You have to be really careful putting yourself in line with a queen like this, right? But tactics seem to work out in my favor. Happy Pawniversary, by the way, from chess.com to me. You get this fancy little symbol here. I assume that it's going to go away after today. Could be wrong. Oh, he does take with the queen. Okay, so I'm going to tuck my king in the corner. Wasn't exactly expecting that. For some reason, I thought the knight, but okay. I don't think they're going to take this pawn, because then you have to deal with the open file on their king. What are they going to do? E6? Move their bishop? Yeah, E6. Okay. Let's go here. Well, they do trade. Okay. So this is a problem. This is a problem. I mean, I could play bishop E8. Okay. Trying to defend against all these squares from the knight. All right. So a minute and a half. Yeah, we have to move faster, but I think our position is okay. We can target this pawn with like knight G5. Looks like a weakness. Knight G5, rook F6. Take the pawn. They're probably going to go knight D5, though. No, they can't do that. Never mind. Check. What are they going to go? Check and take this? That doesn't look very good. F4. Okay. Yes. Yes. What to do? What to do? I'm going to go here because I want to attack, and I also want to give my knight somewhere to go to also attack. So I'm trying to go for the double attack here on E6. I don't want knight D5 happening. I better play C6 to stop that. We do have to be very careful because we are a bit jammed up. He's going to play rook D1. I'm going to move my bishop. I do have this pawn on H5 being attacked over here with my bishop. Okay, he goes for that. Obviously, I have to take it. The question is, what do I play after I take it? Okay, let's go ahead and go here. Oh, in between move. Okay, I wasn't expecting that. Ooh. Okay. This is bad, I think. Let's go here. This might be bad. He's going to come down. Okay, let me go here. Okay, 30 seconds. We got to go fast. We got to go real fast. I'm going to try to push this pawn since I have it. Oh, I didn't see that. I didn't see that. Hmm. Yeah, we're going to get mated now. I think. Oh, 0.4 seconds, guys. I threw that so hard at the end. All I had to do was like not let him just get a queen, and we were gonna win easily on time. Yeah, I mean they played a good game though. They played a very good game for the most part. I just should have won on time at the end. Let's see, what was the big mistake? Like right here, I had to react faster to this. I guess it's not actually that obvious what I should have done. Stockfish says put the bishop on c5 so you can at least sack the bishop for the pawn. Okay, that's smart. And then I could probably push this. Yeah, I just waited too long. And even here, if I just move in the corner, at least then it's not so easy for him. That's all I had to do. Just play rook. And I was going to. I don't know why I did this instead. You know, I don't know. Play rook a8 because now you can't go here. I just take the pawn, right? And white's gonna have to figure out something. They're gonna have to take a bunch of time to do something else, and they're gonna flag for sure. All right, it happens. Let's try not to get tilted. That's step number 1. Okay, game aborted immediately by the opponent. Is this this is the same person we just played. All right. Let's try to move faster and see if we can not fall so far behind on time. Plays the French. Let's see if they know about the Alpin Gambit. Let's see if they know about this one. I think this is Poland. Yeah, it's Poland. So what I'm doing now, if anyone's wondering, this is a gambit. And the idea is give up a pawn to get quick development. We want our pieces to just come out right away as fast as possible. Very good. So you can see I have 2 pieces out and black has none. So that's why I decided to give up the pawn. Right now I'm just going to continue developing quickly. I want to get all 4 pieces out as fast as possible. I want to castle. Let's go bishop d3. There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4. I want to castle over here. And the pawn that I'm missing actually can help me because now my rook can attack, right? And sometimes you can also move your queen there. Attack this way as well. b6. Okay, I don't think that changes. I'm going to just castle anyway, like I said. Sometimes you can bring your queen over. Now, it depends if they're going to castle. I don't know if they're going to castle kingside or not. If they don't castle, I may not want to bring my queen that way. Right now, it looks like they're just delaying. Check. Knight goes in, 95. Almost looks pretty good. They castle, takes. Okay, I'm going to play a3 to go ahead and force this bishop to probably trade. Get the bishop pair. I think that's a valuable thing to have. And I really want to just wait and see because I need to know if the king is going to castle or not. I'd be surprised if they don't take this because why do you go bishop b4 unless you want to take... Well, okay, I'm surprised. Most people who play bishop b4, they understand that they're going to trade that for that. It's kind of strange that they go back. Interesting. Okay, well, let's go queen e1. And like I said, I'm just kind of setting up. If they do castle over here, I will be ready to launch an attack. They don't have to. It looks like they're not going to. I'm thinking they're going to play this. Yeah, and just wait, which is fine. Let's play rook d1. And now black's going to have to make a decision, right? Either castle, play queen e7, or maybe some move like c5 or something. Okay, they do go queen e7. I'm going to go king h1. A lot of times this diagonal can cause you problems, and so just spending some time to get away from it can make sense. And it's kind of like a waiting move, so I can see, okay, what are you going to do? Are you going to go this way or this way? And then I can decide how to proceed. If they do castle this way, they play h6. They really do not want to castle. All right. I kind of want to play b4 anyway, just in case, because it looks like they're wanting to go this way. Could play queen h4 also. I'll play b4 first. It's like, you know, if they castle this way, I'm one step closer to attacking. And if not, it's not like a bad move. It could still go this way. Some people do this. They'll delay and then castle this way. I don't have a read on what this person's going to do, though. I have no idea what they're going to do. So let's see. Yeah, that definitely wasn't on my radar. G5. So usually, if you leave your king in the center indefinitely, it's bad. My opponent is typing to me. Let's count the pawns, is what they said. I don't know what that means. I understand I sacrificed a pawn, if that's what they're referring to. Anyway, I was going to say, usually when they leave their king in the center, the bad thing is that you can attack the king and it gets in trouble. But in this particular position, I don't see a clear way to attack it. So I think I might just go knight b5 and just try to trade the knight. They could go bishop f4, but then this is going to be very weak. Okay. G4. So they're going to give me the bishop. I think I will take it. I guess I could take it later. I don't have to take it right now. It's not really going to go anywhere. Unless I go here. Yeah, let me just go back. I can take this next move. So, okay, I'm thinking of a couple things. Number one, taking this. Number two, maybe pushing this pawn forward. That would actually trap the bishop. Now, of course, they're not going to let me do that, but it's just an idea that I'm thinking about. And then I'm also... Wow, G3. Okay. If we take... What happens? Queen comes out, bishop f4, then we lose this, though. Then we can take here. I don't like how this is opening up, though. I don't like that. H3 is tempting. This is still annoying, though. This is a weakness. But black can't attack that immediately. So could probably get away with H3. Yeah, let's do it. Generally speaking, if someone's attacking you, you don't want to trade the pawns, right? Because if you trade the pawns, you open up all the diagonals in the files. If you leave the pawn, it's in their own way, right? The rook can't attack me. The bishop can't attack me because the pawn's in the way. Now, you have to be careful because, like, if, for example, if this queen was able to, you know, somehow get here, Because of the pin, I just lose immediately. That's just checkmate. I have to watch out for that. But if I don't let that happen, then we're probably okay. What is he going to do now? That is the question. This pawn I might take at some point in the future, though, when I feel like it's safe. Because it's kind of overextended, especially once we get rid of this bishop. You can very easily go bishop f4 and then just take it at some point. But I don't want to take it too early, right? I don't want to take it too early and get into trouble. That's the thing. Okay, he goes rook g8. Maybe we go c4 now and force the issue here on the bishop. I kind of like that. I mean, yeah, I don't want to take this, right? Because the same kind of deal. Okay, so now I'm threatening c5. I have a threat, finally. Because the bishop would be trapped, right? There's nowhere for it to go to. Of course, this trade doesn't help him, so black has to at least pay attention to this now. They might play c5. Then let's see, take. Bishop f4. The queen's going to come in. c5. I could also trade here first. Then take. Whoa. Not expecting that one. Okay, so if I take the bishop now, and he takes with the queen, then I might be able to get away with taking the knight. So he's probably going to take with the pawn. We could drop the bishop back here. The queen can come over, though. That's what we need to avoid. Yeah, queen h4 is a threat. Okay, let's take the bishop first. Let's get rid of one problem. And then let's see if we can figure out how to deal with this. So, and if anyone's wondering, we cannot take the knight, right? We cannot take the knight. We lose immediately. So that's out of the question. So what can we do instead? Maybe knight e4, bishop e4 to neutralize this guy? That seems quite reasonable. Maybe bishop e4, yeah. Okay, let's do it. Let's do that. Because if we get rid of this bishop, then it's not so dangerous, and the queen can go there, doesn't threaten anything. But right now, it was threatening this, right? So, okay, yeah, I think this is a smart thing to do. Of course, they can trade this, but that's fine. And we get rid of this pesky knight. They can go here to force the G file open, but it's not as dangerous when I have neutralized the bishop. So, okay. Very tricky position. Our opponent didn't even castle. I don't see how they're going to get through here. Queen h4. You could trade first and then play queen h4, but then I just take this because my knight... Actually, no, I couldn't do that. So queen h4. So takes, queen h4. Okay, but they're not really threatening anything. And then I could actually start taking stuff. Yeah, that looks good for me. So thinks for a while and takes the bishop. I could do this, but then I don't know if that actually makes sense. I don't think we need to get fancy. I think we just take this back. Okay. I see a way to win the pawn back. I think I'm going to do it. Take this. It's a safe pre-move because black either has to move their king or play d5. So we can safely take this. And then we're equal on pawns, but this g3 pawn seems to be maybe an easy target for me. Now, they don't have to trade queens. Okay, but they do. Okay. Our rook is nice and active. I like that. Okay. Do we have a tactic? We have an immediate threat here, guys. You see that? We can sack the rook and get a fork. We're also putting pressure on this pawn. Okay, so they deal with the tactic, but they give me the pawn. So, okay, so now we're up a pawn. It's not over yet. The knight wants to come in here. So maybe I should stop that with knight here. Knight there, takes. Remember the triangle trick? I can catch the pawn, so I'm going to go for it. Okay, let's bring the king over. So if we take, we get an extra pawn, but they're really bad pawns and easy targets. If we push, we don't get an extra pawn, but then it's a much, excuse me, it's a much healthier pawn chain. He could reroute the knight here, though. But I wouldn't go to d6. Yeah, I'm going to push. And I don't know if I want to let the king invade, so I think I might stop that. Okay. Let's attack this pawn now. Let's attack it again. h4, chase the knight away and then take it is what I'm thinking. All right. Let's check that game because that was pretty interesting stuff. I'm very curious what what Stockfish says about that. Okay. So pretty well played, I guess, on our part. Spent too much time pawn counting. Yes, I guess so. Okay, so yeah, yeah. Actually, Stockfish says you should have taken it, right? So that was one weird thing. Okay. Okay, knight b5 was the best move. All right, cool. Stockfish would have gone knight e5 here. I didn't even consider that. Because in my mind I was thinking I lose a pawn. Wait, don't I lose a pawn? Wow. Stockfish, bishop c5. That's not a move I saw. So that we actually just trade, and then I'm going on the offensive. Look at that. Oh, and I'm attacking here too. Wow. Okay. So yeah, see, like in my mind, good example of how if you stop calculating too fast, you can miss things. In my mind, I thought two attackers, one defender, you know, takes. And I moved on very quickly, didn't even consider it. But Stockfish is saying, no, if you keep calculating, there's this crazy move. But that's a hard move to see, right? Just give up the bishop to trade so that you then go on the offensive. It's not that hard, but I didn't see it, obviously. So I went back. Okay. And then Stockfish agrees. H3 is the best move. If you take this, you now have just opened up everything, and it's going to make your life much more difficult. Okay? All right. Okay, let's play. Yeah, we'll play another Scandinavian. And instead of taking with the queen and allowing the knight to come out and attack me, I'm going to bring out my knight first. And I could recapture it with the knight. I'm going to play a really funky looking move if you're not familiar with it, the Portuguese variation. And of course, I'm not expecting white to just let me take their queen, right? That's not the point. The point is that a lot of times they'll play f3, and we've created some weaknesses along these diagonals that are long term. For the rest of the game, we can maybe take advantage of it. Our opponent goes knight f3. So now I'll take back with the queen and start putting some pressure on these pieces in the center. Bishop e2, sure, he's going to play knight c3 next. And so I'm thinking about going e6 so I can play bishop b4. The other thing is you can play knight c6 and then like queen f5, I think. Yeah, let's play e6 this game. I'll play e6. I want to have a response ready. So on knight c3, I'll play bishop b4 and pin the knight. And then trade it off. And the idea is if I can leave my queen here in the center, it's actually a pretty nice square for it. And the main piece that would be able to chase that away was this knight. Now there's also the pawn. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see c4 here. Okay, that's another way to do it. He's stopping my bishop b4. So he wants to use the knight. It's very clear, right, that he wants to play knight c3. Okay, that's fair. So let me go knight c6. I am going to have to move my queen to one of these two squares now. I'm trying to think which one is better. I usually go here. Yeah, let's go to h5. I don't know. I think sometimes you're supposed to go to f5. I can't remember which one. But the point here is that I'm keeping this battery lined up here. And if white tries to play h3, they can't actually take me because I'm attacking their rook. So it buys me a little extra time there. I am going to castle queenside, and notice that the rook is immediately putting pressure on the center of the board. That's usually a good thing. Okay, so bishop d6 looks pretty good. And on h3, I am going to take it, I believe. Let me just think for a moment. So if I take it in knight e5, this is the move I'm not sure about. What happens? Yeah, I think we can do it. It's going to get a little tricky, but that's what I want. So basically, I'm saying, look, I'm going to give up my bishop, 3 points for 2 pawns, 2 points. So I'm sacrificing, you know, a point worth of material, but I'm exposing the king. I'm getting rid of the 2 pawns that are shielding the king. And I do have some pieces lined up to help me orchestrate an attack. So I'm not just doing it with no follow-up whatsoever. And there are some tricky moves where this knight can move, where they leave it, and then the bishop's attacking my queen, which we're going to have to calculate. In a normal tournament where you have hours to think, ideally you would calculate all of that stuff before you make this move. But in a 10-minute rapid game on chess.com, sometimes you have to kind of just make some intuitive decisions. Okay, so he does play 95, the move I was thinking about. And for some reason, I thought I could play something like bishop g4. Now I'm wondering if I can or not. So bishop g4, if the knight takes, I'm happy, because then it unleashes this. And we just take. The problem is, what if the bishop takes? So then I take, queen takes. Yeah, I guess I have a bit of a problem there. So I'm wondering, what if I go here, maybe? Then g3. But then, hold on. Then I can start taking a whole bunch of stuff. Then I can take a whole bunch of stuff. So that's one option. Queen f5, I guess, is another option. I am going to get forked. I don't really care at this point about the fork. I'm more caring about the king. So queen f5. Yeah, I think we have to move the queen. The question is where. Where do we go? Let's go to f5. This one will be interesting to see if I totally ruined this or not, because I know that a lot of cases you can get away with sacking the bishop for the 2 pawns and you get a decent attack, and there are certain cases where it's just a complete blunder and white has a very clear refutation, and I'm wondering if I walked into one of those lines. I don't remember. So obviously at this point we're committed, we have to go forward, but it'll be interesting to see after the game what Stockfish says. So this might look scary to you guys, but what I'm thinking is basically this. Yes, white can do this, and yes, I'm going to lose a rook for a knight. But if I'm able to sack here and then somehow using my knight and my queen and my bishop and my other knight get a checkmate while white's knight is busy taking one of my rooks, I'm happy. I don't care. I'm happy, right? So that's kind of how I'm trying to think through this. It was bishop d3 now. There also might be let's see. Okay, if we take this, sack the queen and then take it back, we actually get 2 pieces. So 3, 6, and a pawn, 7. Maybe another pawn, I'm not sure. Maybe like getting 8 points of material for the 9 queen. So that might actually be a decent sacrifice. And the reason I'm even thinking about that is I don't see a good alternative. The alternative is what, queen h5, and then he just trades the queens, and then I'm in big trouble. Because then I'm definitely not going to get a checkmate if queens are traded. So it's kind of what I'm leaning towards. We go with the crazy queen sacrifice. Yeah, let's do it. So we take this. He's going to take my queen, obviously. We take back. So we do get 2 pieces and a pawn, which is not nothing. It's not nothing. This is a significant amount of material for the queen, especially when I have a very active position. All of my pieces are very active. We may end up getting another pawn here. I'm not sure. Maybe white can defend it. If we get this pawn, then I'm definitely comfortable with that. 2 pieces and 2 pawns for a queen. That's a reasonable trade, right? I don't know if we get it, though. If he plays knight e2, we might not be able to get this pawn. But I think I'm still okay with this dynamic. 92, I wonder if I could even just take e5. No, then he probably sacks. No, we can't do that. Okay, so 92. I'm just thinking something crazy like h5, h4, h3. Just try to use these pieces, get the rook involved, like get to the king. That's what I'm thinking we do. Does that make sense? Oh, he's thinking about sacking it back, isn't he? Oh, that's what he's thinking about. They want to do that. So what would that look like? Knight g4, bishop moves, takes. Yeah, I know. I don't think that's going to be good for white. We would have a piece and 2 pawns for a rook. That's going to be good for us. So I don't think they're going to do that. Probably going to play knight e2. I'm expecting we see knight e2. I don't think I have to move this just yet because of the pin. I will have to move it next move. So should I use this move to play h5, or do I have a better use of my move? I want to make sure this bishop doesn't get trapped, too. That's the other thing I have to be a little bit careful of. Like, could it get trapped somehow? I don't think so. I could play it. I could just play it also like safe instead of going crazy in attack. Just play like h6 just to give this bishop somewhere to go. Control this square. Let's say the knight goes here. Knight goes here. No, we're gonna go with h5. We're gonna go with h5. Want to get this rook involved. So same thing. I don't think they're going to take this because after the dust settles, I play knight g4. I'm going to get this pawn. And essentially I have a knight and 2 pawns for a rook, which is, I would be happy with that. So c3, b4. I could see white playing any of these moves. Bishop f4, maybe. Yeah, probably c3. Probably going to play c3. I mean, I guess c3 doesn't technically threaten anything, so we could continue with Harry. Ah, c4. They offer a draw. Interesting. Up a queen, and they offer a draw. Well, I don't really want to draw. I guess they're trying to trap my bishop. I think I'm going to play knight g4 just to make sure I have a place to go. Yeah, let's do it. Let's play on. This looks like an interesting game. I don't think we should take a draw. It looks like I have plenty of compensation for the queen, so... Like I said, I wanted to make sure that my bishop didn't get trapped here because once the pawn made it to c5, if my knight is back here, then the bishop has nowhere to go. And then they simply move their queen and it's trapped essentially. So rather than waiting for that to happen, I'm just planning ahead, giving it the square. I do want to try to keep my lead on time. I think that's important if we can. Okay. Fine. Fine. Let's go with h4. b5, I'll just move, not a problem. Still have the pin here. Oh, there's queen a4. I didn't see that, actually. Well, okay, queen a4, h3. I lose a piece, but then what? I get to take here? No, he doesn't do that. Okay, what is going on? What is going on exactly? Let's try to be aggressive with the pawns. Gonna go on my instincts a little bit to try to play quickly and not lose on time. So we could push this, or we could just take it and jump our knight in. Which one? Both look very good. Let's do this. I see these weaknesses and I just trying to take advantage of those. I don't know what's going on in this position. I want to play so many different moves, but I can only play one. So that's the problem. That is the problem when you have so many potentially good moves, but not a lot of time. You have to just throw everything away and play one, which is, yeah, this is annoying, but... Okay, what do we do? I don't want to let him take this. That's why I'm going here. Oh, I didn't see that. Oh, no. I'm throwing this game, guys. I'm throwing it big time. Yeah. Yeah, I messed that all up. That's really bad, losing the knight. Kind of needed that. Kind of needed that one to stay on the board a little longer. Yeah, this was really poorly played at the end here. Should probably resign, but play a few more moves. Yeah. That was awful. I'm sure I had a good move. I just didn't see what it was. Man. Okay, they played really well, though. They played really, really well. There was one moment where I had an advantage, and that was it. Interesting. This was the only moment in the game where I had an advantage. Was this when they offered me the draw? It was right around here, right? They offered me a draw. When did they offer me a draw? Was it after B4? Or was it B5? I don't remember. Anyway, I think it was around here. Interesting. Okay, so let's see. What does Stockfish say? H4 was the best move. Okay, so I was on the right track with like trying to attack here. Oh, I needed to just ignore this completely and go with the attack. Let him take me because this is winning. Bishop E4 check is winning. Why is it winning? Oh, because he can't play F3. They can't play F3 because of this. So I had to just ignore it. That's it. And I just was going to win. I had one chance. That was it. As soon as I react, now I start to lose my advantage. And then this trade was also very bad. Yeah, G4 was much better, which was I was thinking about playing G4. And then just continuing to attack, yeah. I mean, it was a tricky position with not a lot of time, so I don't feel too bad, but then I just fell apart here. I mean, I say I fell apart, but I'm already losing. Yeah, I'm just losing at this point. So really my opportunity was earlier. I mean, they played it like perfectly though too, so. Man. How does he know to offer the draw right when the EVA? I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't look at the account. I don't know, right? Let's see. It's probably oh, wait a second. Wait a second. The only thing I'm wondering is when were they 1500? Were they 1500 recently or oh, okay. Yeah, maybe that was a little sketch. I don't know. I don't know. Would I consider entering Chess Vibes Club in the new Arena Kings in future months? What is the new Arena Kings? I haven't kept up with the I haven't kept up with it. I don't know what the new Arena Kings is. I'll play a new game. Yeah, I don't know, guys. That was very strange that they offered the draw right then, but and also the graph there was a bit confusing, but who knows? I've kind of just come to grips to the fact that like might be a rice cooker, might not, doesn't really matter. They're all over the place, so it's a multi-club arena. Multi-club arena. So okay, so what does that mean? We join and then what? Everybody in our club plays against other people in the club? Honestly, I have nothing. I don't know anything about that, so I need to look into that. But it sounds like something fun. Okay, Scotch game. Ooh, into a Scotch gambit. Okay, isn't that interesting? So I've studied this before, and I know that this is one of the lines we can play here. And white is either going to play e5 or castle. These are like the two main moves here. And if they push like this, you go d5, you counterattack. So that if they take, we take. And if they go over here, we jump in. They take, we go bishop d7, because there's a pin. And we get this, I think, equal position. It's a weekly event where streamers play in Blitz arenas for their share of 1,500 prize fund. Top 30 scores for each streamer count towards the standings. Interesting. Yeah. Can I just be honest with you guys about that? Okay. I won't. Okay, yeah. Honestly, I'm afraid that it's just going to be like a bunch of rice cookers, but could be wrong. That's just been my experience with a lot of the tournaments lately on chess.com. But now, do I play bishop c5 or c5? This is what I always forget. This is what I always forget. I think it's bishop c5. I think you have to develop quickly, but I could be wrong. I think I always play c5, but I'm supposed to play bishop c5 maybe or something. Anyway. Okay, so let's think about how we think through this position. I'm looking for weaknesses. I'm looking for how to finish my development. I'm trying to be careful for tactics, right? All of these things at the same time. Weaknesses, I see this. I see this. So I'm thinking about this. I'm thinking about queen e7. As far as my weaknesses, this guy might get chased away. This guy might become undefended. So I have to keep an eye on that. If f3 does happen, this guy basically has to go to g5. It's probably fine. Doesn't seem to be too bad. So yeah, castling, queen e7 seem to be very logical moves. I like queen e7 actually because I like that this is defended extra. So let's go queen e7. Just keep that defended so that if my knight does get chased away, I don't have any problems here with any surprises. Okay, so now we can move here. And so if they take me, I will take back. Yes, I wasted a move here, but I think that's okay. I would have the bishop pair. They play f4. Okay, so usually I think I just go right back into the center. I guess technically we could go here. Nah, I like this center square. It looks better. And now there's no more pawns that can chase my knight away. So I like that. Now, of course, this knight can come and trade, but that's fine. I can just take it or leave it, I guess. It does do that. Yeah, I think I'll just take it and castle. I guess we could play f5 too. Now, f5 is interesting because then if you take me, I get a protected pass pawn. If you don't take me and you en passant, then I can go back. I'm hitting your bishop. You're going to play rook e1. I'm going to castle. You move your bishop. You hit my queen. That's interesting. Or we take. Or we take and play c5. Or we take and play bishop f5 and we go to this maybe opposite color bishop ending. Wow, lots of ways to do it, huh? Yeah, so sometimes in situations like this, I just force myself to make a decision because I don't actually know what's the best. I think that's what I'm going to have to do here. So I'm just going to take it. I don't know. Could be way off here. Just forcing myself to go down a line so I don't lose all my time. And we will go from here. Okay, let's go ahead and put the rook there. It looks like a nice place for a rook. Plays b4. Interesting. Can I just go back and then c5? Let's do that. And the reason I want to play c5 here is because these pawns are kind of weak anyway. This pawn is kind of cramping down on my position, stopping my rook. This is supporting the knight. So by trading off a doubled pawn for, like this guy, for example, we now make this weaker if this guy moves away. And this is weaker because it's no longer defended. And I still have another pawn on the c-file if I need it, right? So there's really no reason to not make a trade like that if you have the opportunity. So that's definitely the move I'm going to be looking for. That being said, something like knight b3 might be a very powerful move from the opponent, not letting me do that. Wonder if they're going to play knight b3. No, go queen f2. Okay, so yeah, I think I should go forward with my plan, trade off that doubled pawn, and okay, now I have to be careful. The reason I have to be careful is because if I take, I need to make sure I know what's happening with this move, or this move, for that matter. Because if I take the knight, I'm in trouble. You just trade pieces and then bam, I get skewered. Which means the only move I could play would be to take this. But then they take me with check, and I lose. What if I take with the queen instead? Knight f5? Yeah, I think I have to take with the queen. Because if the knight moves somewhere like here, then we can just take the bishop. So the knight would have to go to c2 or f5. And then we just move our queen. They play f5. Interesting. So I'm going to think about taking this. I'm going to think about taking it. e6 and f6. Oof. Okay, let's talk about f6 first. So I take f6. What can I do? Takes f6. I mean, what if I did play g6? The queen's going to come checkmate me? Not right away, but let's say rook c1. Also e6. Then I just take it. So the e6 is not a problem. Okay, so it's f6. Could also just go here. Just keep the queen close. And then I'm threatening like c5 to get rid of the annoying knight. So queen e7 or queen c3. And at f6 here, then I could actually take. I don't know. Something about it just doesn't look right, guys. Something about it just doesn't look right. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to go here and do it this way. Keep the queen around as a defender is what I'm thinking. And the time is a little bit of a concern, but the position was more concerning. So I really needed to think that through a little bit. Okay, he's thinking about taking it. Okay, he does take it. All right. Most dangerous thing would be a rook, right? So, you know, just keep that in mind. F5, rook F3, rook F6, so we can come over is one thing. C5, the knight moves, takes, then we have to deal with that. I don't like it. Let's go F5. We also play king H8 to get away from the rook, but then we have to worry about the bishop. Although I guess technically that's not a big deal because we have our own bishop there. So, okay, rook F3, what I am expecting. Thinking of rook F6. Oh, he has bishop H6. Didn't see that. Actually, I don't know if it worked. I might have had a fancy move. Okay, so he's going for this. So let's get ready to meet it with that. Also clears the way if we need to double up for some reason, or maybe even go here next. Yeah, let's go here. Put the pressure on the bishop. Am I losing a pawn, actually? Might be losing a pawn. Oh, but I'm up a pawn because, yeah, white sacked the pawn earlier, so it's actually fine. It's actually fine. Okay, guys. What is he going to do? Take this and just trade everything? Go into that endgame? I mean, that's actually an interesting endgame. 2 against 1 here. These are even. And then I have 2 against 1 here. That was an easy one. Only move for me to stop the pin. Interesting. He wants to do that. Now I'm controlling this, so I could move my rook up and not have to worry about any checks. Also could consider just pushing this pawn. Maybe even... Actually, no, this is losing, right? Because we takes this, then we can get that. Yeesh. This is a very, very tricky position. There's a lot of potential traps and pitfalls for both sides to fall into, I think. But I mean, you can't just calculate it all because you're going to run out of time. So you have to kind of make a decision, you know? I don't know why. That just looks like a nice square for my rook. Now I can definitely play d4, though. Let's go ahead. Do we have some tricks? Do we have some tricks up our sleeve? That is the question. I don't know what to do here, guys. I do not know what to do. I feel like my position's good. I just don't see the breakthrough. We have an attack here. We've temporarily got the queen under control. We've got this move in our back pocket. I just don't see why. I didn't see that. Man. That was a good move. I think I'm in trouble. Check. We go back. I go there. I'm losing my queen here. Oh, I didn't even see that. I'm just going to get mated. Dude. I thought queen e6 and I was going to have time to do this and then somehow, yeah. That was a good move. That's what I was talking about. Traps, right? We just fell right into it. Fell right into it. We did have an advantage until I blundered it. Right around here, we were winning. Like I said, I thought we had a good position. I just didn't see what to do. D4, yeah. Everything was great. What did I do wrong? I had to play rook e2. So I went off track when I brought my rook over here, I guess. And then I really went off track when I went here. And then even more went off track. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. It was a bad end to the game. D4. Okay, let's see if we can play the Budapest gambit. Yes. All right. This is what we covered in the Chess Vibes Academy. So it's a fun little trap. He's not going to fall for the trap, but we'll still play the opening anyway. Yeah, so if he would have taken first, then this is the mistake. He plays it now, and so we can actually just go into this endgame. I think this is just equal. I think we've already equalized, which is fine. I mean, I'm assuming he's going to take the... Oh, doesn't trade the queens. Okay, so I'm thinking about which piece to develop, and I'm going to develop the knight first because it also comes with some very nice threats. And in general, you develop your knights before your bishops, so it's a good rule of thumb. I kind of want to just jump in. I mean, this already looks scary for white. Okay, do you guys see what I'm looking at? Is this not just winning for me? Wait a second. I'm just attacking this square, and I'm basically saying you can't stop me. That's what I'm saying. You can't stop me. Knight A3, I take it. E4, I take it. I think we're winning, actually. I think we're winning. I'm going to use this moment to take a break. I'll be right back. I was wondering if I was going to come back to a one game, but no, they decide to fight on. Okay. So this is just, I mean, it's not even just a fork. It's not even just a fork. They have to give up their queen. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So, queen for knight, but I still want to play good moves and not throw this. So let's start with this. We'll play c6. Shut down the bishop. Gives our queen a nice diagonal to make use of. Obviously, the knight can't really come in from there, so we're fine. I think bishop c5, bishop b4, trading off a piece is also fine. We'll go to c5. This just looks very good. Getting ready to castle. So usually I'm not giving up a bishop for a knight like this, but because I'm up the queen, I'm definitely considering it. I could also just go back, which would be totally fine. And I will. Since I'm up the queen, I want to simplify the position and get closer to the end game. So I will go ahead and make the trade. I'm thinking we go here. Working these pieces, probably forcing the bishop to go here, but then I have e4. So actually, they're probably going to have to give me a pawn here. No, they do that instead. Interesting. Okay, well, again, I want to trade. I want to kind of simplify, so I will take that. If I take here, then the rooks get to become very active. So let's see if we can figure out a way to not let that happen. What's the most annoying thing in my position right now that I can't castle, right? I could castle this way, and I lose this pawn. Not the end of the world. That would be fine, actually. Then I could invade with my rook, keep on attacking stuff. Or I'm thinking of b6 and c5 just to really shut down the bishop. Let's do that. I think that looks even better. So when you're playing against a bishop on a certain color, you can put your pawns on that color, and usually it's good because it limits a lot of the squares that the bishop can go to. The only caveat for that, caveat? How do you pronounce that word? Anyway, the only caution is if the bishop can somehow get behind and just start taking all your pawns, then maybe you wouldn't want to put them all. But if you can get a situation like this, you know, where the bishop is stuck, that's good, right? That's ideal. Now, I could do that, but I think instead I might just castle, because I really want to make sure I get castled, and this is a good opportunity. So let's castle. We'll probably play this next. And if for some reason I lose the opportunity, it's not a big deal. Okay, they play rook c1. Definitely thinking about there. I also could think about this. I think I'm actually going to go here, activate the pieces, get ready to bring the other rook over. Maybe we could even attack. That might not be too crazy, actually. Nah, but the simplest and easiest thing is to go here, and trade everything, right? Go here, and trade everything. He's attacking my rook, so I will go here. There we go. Complete the pawn chain. Okay, let's force a trade. Force a trade. Grab a pawn. Notice my king is not on a dark square, so I'm not worried about any, you know, discovered checks or anything like that. We'll just take the other pawn here and finally force the trade. Okay. What's the simplest and easiest thing? I mean, I don't know. I guess we could do whatever we want, but I'll just go here. I'll push my pawn down and win. Okay, and I guess I'll get another queen. The only thing, lots of beginners don't do this. The only thing, make sure it's not a stalemate, right? Make sure you see a place that they can go, or put them in check every move is another way to do it. But I see a place they can go, so I know it's not stalemate. So I'll go ahead and get the queen and checkmate. Probably could have tried like a reset checkmate there, but it's all right. I won't do it. Okay, 94 accuracy, not bad. And if you're wondering, the Budapest gambit, the trap is that takes h3. Now we can go here, check, and take the queen. We had a tournament for Chess 5's Academy members where we played this. It was a lot of fun, I think. And we got to practice this position. So that was interesting. In the game, though, almost everybody who does this trades the queens and goes into the endgame. Sorry, goes into the endgame. I was really surprised that they didn't do that. I was really surprised. And then they just blundered. Yeah, 94 is the best move, and bishop f5 is winning. So they're already borderline losing here. They have to go queen d3 so that they can meet this with e4. And then they can keep fighting at least, even though their position is not good. But going back to d1, and it's over. It's just over. Yeah. Okay, next game. Greek gift. Noob. Let's play e4. Hmm. Hmm. I haven't played this opening in a while, but it's kind of fun. The bishop's opening, bishop c4. So let's see how they're going to respond to this. You could take it a lot of different directions from here. You could go for a king's gambit. You could go for a Italian game. Knight f6. I usually play d4. This is the Ponziani gambit, which is a lot of fun. Already, we're setting some traps. If they take with the knight, that is a trap. Okay, they didn't fall for it. They played the right move. I'll play knight f3. Okay, I'm going to take with the queen. This is one of the main lines. Usually they go back here. And you'll notice we are down a pawn. They have 4. We only have 3. But you'll also notice we have a big lead in development. And we have open files that we can work with, which I would sacrifice a pawn every chance I get to do that. So knight f6 I think is the main line. Let's see if... I don't know what else they could really play. Knight d6 is not as good of a move. Queen e7 is probably not very good because then your bishop is stuck. Yeah, that's not a good move. It's not a good move. So if they would have gone back, I was going to play knight c3, bishop g5, and castle queenside. But because they are kind of forcing the issue here, I will castle right away. But now black has to be really careful because of this. Yeah, this should be good for me. Let's see if we can figure out why. Is it just back? Do we just go back and play rook e1? So here's the thing. I have to move the queen, obviously, somewhere. The only places are d5, d3, e3, and d1, right? There's only 4. This one is interesting because the queen has to stay guarding. Knight b4, though, and then I have to move it again. Same thing with d3, right? Both of these, I don't know if I want to allow that. e3, the problem with e3 is I can't get a rook attacking the queen easily if my queen is in the way. So by process of elimination, I kind of feel like this is the best move simply because I want to play rook e1 and make them pay for this poor choice. You can check it after the game and see if Stockfish agrees with that. But this seems to be very dangerous. You will see why. You will see why probably in the next couple moves. Okay, so if I go there, he's going to take my bishop. Do I have a clear follow-up? Knight d2. You move your queen somewhere. Let's just say d5. I don't know. Check. You block. Looks like you're somehow getting away with it. Bishop d5 attacks it. If it goes back, rook e1 check. No, there's got to be a way to punish this guy. There has to be. Just don't know what it is. Do I just drop back? I don't really want to let him play d5 though, so maybe I just go here. The knight f6, knight c3 maybe? Takes, and then we hit him with the check. Maybe that's the way. All right, let's try that. So I'm expecting knight f6, and I think I'm going to play knight c3. See, this is what I wanted to avoid, though. I didn't want to let him play bishop e7 and castle. So knight f6, knight c3, bishop e7, rook e1, castles, takes. He gets away with it. He gets away. Yeah, we're gonna have to check with stock. I'm like 90% sure this was a bad move. Maybe I didn't play it right. I don't know. Seems like I should be getting into something more powerful than this position. But I mean, maybe my position's still fine. Maybe it's nothing wrong with this. The thing is, usually if they play queen e7 and you can get your rook to the e1 quickly, you're able to do it in a way where they can't get castled. So the fact that he's able to just play bishop e7 and castles makes me wonder, what did I do wrong, you know? That's what it makes me wonder. So bishop e7. Okay, rook e1. What else can I do? Bishop e3. He does take. Okay, that's interesting, because now you can't go bishop e7 and castle so easily. Can you? Rook e1 castles. The knight and queen are defending. If I can... Okay, so if I can lure a piece away... Hold on. Okay, he doesn't even do that. He plays d6. Never mind. Well, that's a blunder. That's just a blunder. I guess bishop e7 was a blunder for the same reason, actually. Okay, well, there you go. We do win. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I think if they would have just played bishop e7 and castle, black was going to be fine, which tells me I might have done something wrong. Regardless, we get a free rook. And the king can't castle. So it's extra good for us. Bishop's opening strikes again. It's funny because this is like a beginner opening, right? It's like the 4-move checkmate, you know? But then once you learn you can play it for other reasons, it's kind of cool. All right, I just want to develop quickly. That's really all I care about. So I'm going to go here with a tempo on the queen. If I lose this knight, it's not the end of the world. I got a rook. If I can save the knight, great, even better. But if I can checkmate the king, that's the best, right? So we need our pieces out to be able to do that. So let's go here with a tempo. Then we can decide. C3, B4 is what I'm thinking, or even just sacrificing this right away to just open up all of the files, get to that king as quick as we can. Let's see, what else can we do? He wants to go here, obviously, and take my knight, right? So we know what black is going to be up to. We know what they're going to do. Yeah, all right. I'll just play c3 and b4, and maybe I'll sack this knight for some pawns or something. I think I just want to push these pawns and chase the queen around. Let's do that. Okay. We could play a4 and threaten a fork. Let's do it. If he takes my knight, I get a fork. I get my piece right back. You know what else? We can almost trap this queen, actually, guys. We can almost... b5, queen here, bishop d2, and c4? Whoa. Look at that. b5. Okay, he doesn't want any part of that. But wait a second. Look at this. So, okay, this is how you want to think about it, guys. As soon as you see this, you should think, oh, a fork, right? But then you should think, oh, it's not a fork. He could just take me. But wait, no, he can't because it's pinned. Oh, okay. No, but he could just take me. Okay, so I'll chase the knight away. When the knight moves, I do have a fork. And this is pinned, so it can't take me, so it is a fork, right? That's how you you have one tactic, a fork. You pair it with another tactic, a pin. You pair it with another tactic, a deflection tactic, I guess, deflect this piece from its duty. You put all three of those together, and you win the game, right? So good example there of tactics. That was a good one. It was like a textbook example of chaining tactics together. 94. Okay, so we played a good game, but not a perfect game, which tells me I did mess up. So, okay, so bishop's opening. Let's talk about it for a second. They have two responses, really. Knight c6 and knight f6. Knight c6 is more boring, in my opinion. I like knight f6 because it leads to more crazy positions. So d4, very good. This is like a really common trap. You just take back, and this knight usually gets trapped. Fun stuff. So they take here. Fine. Fine. Yeah, I knew it was bad. They were supposed to just go back, right? And then I was going to go here, and you know, something like this is going to happen. And I like to play this from white's perspective. Anyway, so queen e7. Stockfish says castling. Great. We did the right thing. Stockfish says queen d1. Great. We did the right thing. By process of elimination, right? I said it. All these other moves didn't look as good, so Stockfish agrees with me. Right here is where Stockfish says rook e1. So what was Stockfish's plan? Knight to d2, knight f. This knight. Why? Okay, this is okay. Let's spend some time here, guys, because this is, I think, a question a lot of people have. You're looking at this game, you know, you're seeing what Stockfish tells you to do, and instead of bringing out the piece that's on the back, it tells you to bring back the piece that's already developed. Why in the world would it tell you that? So what I like to do is, first of all, follow the main line just a little bit, just a couple of moves to kind of see the idea, right? So for example, okay, we go here, obviously attacks the queen moves somewhere. We take, we get a pin, they try to stop us. We now play f4. Oh, I can already see the reason. Do you guys see? I can already see the reason why it said to move this knight back. Because we wanted to play f4. Now, if you didn't see that, what you would do is move this one and follow the line. It says queen, actually it says queen a6, but we could look at queen e6, I guess. Oh no, actually no, that doesn't make sense because here you couldn't even play 95. So I still don't know the reason. Take back what I said. I still don't know the reason. Okay, so let's see what the reason is. Queen a6. We take with our knight. Seems like we have a pretty good position. They go bishop e7. We move our knight. They castle. Knight d5. Game goes on. Plus 1.2 for white. Okay, so what I'm going to do now I can kind of see this is the main line. I'm going to go back. And I'm going to say, okay, let's say we move this one and they play queen a6. Why is this so good for us? Now we take on e4. Bishop e7. We go knight to c3. This is actually very... Hold on. Knight to d5. Wait. So what is different about these two positions? What is different about these two positions? Hold on. Queen a6 is not the best move in this position because we have this killer threat. They have to deal with it. Then we jump to c3 and we're jumping into d5. In the other line, on queen a6, we didn't have knight c3. We don't have knight c3. You see that, guys? You see the difference, right? So what Stockfish is saying is, in this position, I would actually rather this knight be here than where it is. Because I really want to play here and jump to d5 immediately. So essentially, it wants this knight to go to d5. And that knight can't go to d5 from here. Takes 3 moves. 1, 2, 3. Well, 4 moves to get there. Whereas if you were here, it would just be 2 moves. That is fascinating, right? It's basically saying this knight on d5 is so powerful that it's better, going back to this position, to do this. So that we can bring this knight here. Okay, so we finally figured it out. That was actually more complicated than I thought it was going to be. All that to say, the reason this was bad for black, and what I should have done was immediately attack instead of going there, I should have immediately attacked the file. Which is kind of what I wanted to play, but I just didn't see all the stuff that happened after this. So, there you go. Knight f, so that we keep this guy. That's the way to get to the winning position. That being said, bishop d5 was an okay move. And then I should have gone rook e1 check, followed by c4, and I have a small advantage. They do get to castle. The game goes on. It actually says you take this and play b4. What? b4. Whoa. If you take this, you get skewered. If you take this, thank you very much. And if you go here, oh, the bishop is trapped. I mean, Stockfish never just, I mean, I can't even talk. All right. So anyway, let's move on. I'm done. I'm just done. Stockfish. My goodness. Okay. E4. Let's play E5 this time. Just to change it up a little bit. And let's see what white's going to do about this. They're not sure. Interesting. Very interesting. We've got him thinking already. Stockfish has great board vision. Yes, indeed. What is happening? Oh, they play knight f3. Or I'll just defend. Okay, well now you've got me curious. Now you've got me very curious. Okay, anyway, we have an Italian game. I'm going to recommend that you guys play the 2 knights defense against this. Does allow the fried liver, although we won't actually allow the fried liver. I'll show you that in just a second. Assuming we see knight g5. Oh, they're opening up the YouTube stream. Okay, that's probably the most likely explanation, actually. Yeah. That's actually very likely. Okay. The castle. So I'm fairly certain. Okay, so you have to, when you're playing these E4, E5 openings, you always have to be concerned with this kind of stuff. But you also have to be aware of the moments when you can get away with taking it, because sometimes it's just the best thing to do. And I think this is one of those situations. Bishop d5. I don't know what is going on here. I guess I'm just going to go back, take the pawn and go back. And as long as you have like bishop e7 in your back pocket, it's usually not as dangerous as in situations where you don't have that. So like, even though this looks kind of scary, not a big deal. You can play bishop e7. We can castle. Things are going to be just fine, you know? Even bishop e6 if I want, but I'll just go bishop e7 because I might change my mind on where this bishop goes. So bishop e7 will castle. So, okay, let's talk about the pawn structure. Obviously, 3 against 3 is even, right? Nothing to say there. We have 4 against 4, but it's not the same, right? So this is good and bad. It's bad for me because sometimes doubled pawns can be a little bit weaker. However, when they're all clumped together, they're really not usually that weak. And the benefit that I get from this is, number one, my bishop can just come out right away. And number two, I actually can use this for my big pieces like my queen and my rooks. And white can't do that because their pawn's in the way. So I kind of like it. Now, at the end of the game, if all the pieces are traded, maybe I would prefer white because it's nice to just have beautiful looking pawns, not have these doubled guys. But for right now, I think it's totally fine. So first things first, get the king out of the center, away from that. That's a no-brainer. And now we have to kind of decide, where is this guy going to go? Usually, you know, e6 is a good square. I think I'm going to still go there. I'm thinking about jumping my queen out, though, first. I think I will do that. And you'll notice that the queen cannot easily be attacked by the knights. or the bishop for that matter on this square, right? There's no knight c3 because he moved it over here. And these knights cannot attack my queen. So that's great. And now I'm thinking, So, okay, here's what I'm thinking. I want to get my bishop here, because if I can get my bishop and queen lined up like this, that might be very dangerous. The issue is maybe c4 forces me to move, and I don't get to get my setup. So I'm going to play c5 first, because now if you play c4, you've given yourself what we call a backward pawn in chess, a weakness target. Easy thing for me to just, pile up on and attack. And so that kind of discourages the move c4, and maybe in the future I will go here. I don't have to. I can also bring the bishop out, somewhere else, or do a different move, like a rook move or something. But I'm just kind of keeping that option open. Okay, and white is going to be in shadow that way. Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I feel comfortable enough now that c4 doesn't bother me so much because we've created this backward pawn if they do it. And so I'm going to go ahead and go for it. I just really like this bishop sitting over here. It can't be harassed by the knights. And we get this amazing battery where we have this dangerous checkmate threat if this knight ever tries to move. Okay, he goes for d4. So my first instinct is let's take it. The knight obviously cannot take. We already talked about it. Queen could take, or bishop could take. Maybe instead I should bring a rook over first, just to get some annoying pressure on the queen. If they take, I could take with the queen, hit this guy. Yeah, let's do that first. So we're going to line up. And, ooh, okay, that's a move I didn't consider. I forgot that they could throw that in. That was actually smart by our opponent. Actually very smart. Kind of regret my decision now. Okay, well, I probably messed it up. Let's see if I can somehow salvage the situation. The reason I say I messed it up is because once they get this pawn chain here, they've shut out my bishop, which is not what I wanted to allow, right? I did not want to let that happen. So is there a way I can... Hold on, maybe we can do something. If I go queen d6, d5, c6... Yes, I think we can do that. Okay, yeah, that's not what I wanted to happen, but sometimes you just have to go with it. So c6, let's say they take me. I could trade. No, I'd have to take here. Takes. Not what I wanted. It's not what I wanted. No, it's not. I mean, I guess we could totally change our plan and reroute this bishop altogether. Then we have to watch out for knight c6. That's the problem. Yeah, this is not what I wanted. I messed up. I forgot about c4. That was a smart move. That was a smart... So maybe I have to go with this. It's not what I wanted at all, but... Yeah, I think we do. This is just too strong. This pawn chain is too strong. I don't think we should leave it. The reason I didn't want to do this is because it's going to give him the option to trade and get rid of my powerful bishop, right? Which is one of the best things about my position. So that's why I really didn't like this. But here we are. The alternative was allow that really annoying pawn chain to just shut down my bishop, and I can't even move my bishop back because the knight jumps at c6. So that was also bad. So I don't know. It's just bad however you look at it, basically. Rook e8. What's going to happen? Bishop d6, bishop d8. Maybe just bishop d8. The reason I'm going to d8 instead of d6 is because on d6 he can just ruin my pawn structure. At least on d8, I have options, right? But I did need to move it somewhere. Okay, I'm thinking we go here now. Or, hold on, rookie. No, we can't play rook e8 because the tactics don't work out. What a mess I've gotten myself into, guys. What a big mess. I think I have to go back. I have to get control of this seventh rank. I can't let him get a rook down here. We're going to have a very bad situation. If a rook gets to the 7th rank, usually doesn't end well. Okay, we have to fight back for these files somehow. So let's think about the best way to do it. Rook d7. Takes. He's not invading on the 7th rank, which is very important. Rook here. We move our knight. Takes. He is invading. Don't love it. Now, the good news is I could play rook a8, as awkward as that is, and then maybe walk my king over. And ideally get rid of the rook. Alternatively, what? What else can we do? How do we fight back? We can't go here. We already talked about that. Rook e7 instead. Rook e7 takes. We're ending up with the same situation. Knight to d7. Is knight to d7 a move that doesn't allow him to invade? Yes. What's my plan? f6, king here, rook e8. Let's say I do that and he tries to double up. What happens? So there, f6, there, we have to go rook f7. It's an ugly position, but then we could walk our king over and probably slowly unwind, I think. All right. Let's do it. This is an ugly position. I mean, you could see just from looking at it, right? Obviously, if white has two files like this, he did something wrong. Yeah, in hindsight, I should have been more careful right after d4. That was my moment, I think. I think when he played d4, if I would have just taken it, I think we're in great shape. Just take it first, then bring the rook over. You keep all your advantages. I never would have been in this mess. But here we are. Okay, so he wants to force a trade. Bishop's going to come in. Then what? Rook goes over. Bishop goes here. We take. He takes. My rook is trapped. Wow. Takes. Where do I move this guy to? So here instead? Okay. If I can get one of these rooks over and trade off one rook, our position is not nearly so bad. Oh, he can just go there now. Oh. Okay, so we have to lose a bishop for a rook. Wow, it just goes from bad to worse. All right. Let's go here. And now we're playing for a draw, essentially. Now we're playing for a draw. He doesn't have any way in. So we might be able to hold on for a draw, actually. You go here. Probably, if he tries to double up, I'll put a bishop there to stop the trade. And basically, you just sit and wait. You just sit and wait and hope that they can't bust through. That's all you can really do when you're down material like this. Play a5. Let's go ahead and put the bishop there in the center. Okay, if he comes down, I can probably just run with my king. I don't think it's the end of the world. Okay. Let me go ahead and do this. See if I can come in with my rook somehow. I don't think I have to worry here because my bishop actually is always going to be controlling this, right? So even if he puts me in check, it's not really dangerous. Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to move there. And then what are you going to do? Can't do anything. So I'm going to start taking some pawns, I guess. I'm going to take some pawns. Bishop's actually really, really powerful. Check. Okay. That's check, so we'll definitely take that. He's trying to what? If I just go back, what's going to happen? I guess we just go back and make him take the draw. I mean, a draw is good, right? At this point, a draw is good. After you blunder something like that, draw is good. So, yeah, he doesn't want to draw. Makes sense. Uh, hmm. Okay, let me go back. He's going to go here. I am going to lose the pawn, but I'm going to get this pawn. So, I don't know what's happening. Still have to be careful, though. That's checkmate. So let's go stop the checkmate. I'm not actually sure. Do I want my king this way or this way? Because I guess maybe it's useful here to stop the pawns, but then here maybe I could come help these. I'm just going to try to get a queen, I guess. I guess I'm just going to try to get a queen. Hmm. Oh, that would have been a stalemate. We swindled them. We swindled them. How did we do that? We were supposed to lose that game, right? And then we were supposed to get a draw, and we ended up winning. What? What happened? What happened? Okay, so I thought we played the opening great. I thought we had a good position, like right around here. Yes. Stockfish says just take it. Just take it. Then you can bring your rook over or whatever you want, and you're fine. But I messed up. I forgot that he had this c4 move. And then no, Stockfish says, look, don't open up that like that. Just yes, you're in a rough position, but it's fine. Play 98. Play f6 to get rid of this guy. Play c6 now, and you're fine. Instead, I end up in this awful position. Awful, awful, awful. Ended up blundering this. And what happened was white basically abandoned these pawns, right? And they didn't have enough in return for it. And somewhere along the way, I mean, they were winning this whole time they were winning, but it was, I guess at the very end, even here they're winning. That's crazy. Yeah, they like, you don't have to sack this right now. Like, put it here. You get 2 extra moves. You get 2 extra moves before you have to sack it. Now you can sack it, and my king is further away, and you got some extra moves, and now you win because I'm not in time. Although this does look scary. This is a win for white somehow. Because you get the queen. Yeah, and I'm just 1 move too late. Wow. So that's all white needed to do. They panicked, I guess, right around here. They just panicked. Probably thought they could still win, but no, I was just in time now. Well, apparently this is a draw? King G7 is a draw? Ah, look at that. Wow. Interesting. Okay. So they let me get the king, cutting them off, and I stopped the queen at the same time. And yeah, now they're in trouble. There was this stalemate trap, right? If I take this. Stalemate. But what a crazy game. All right. All right. Chess caballos. Let's do it. Sicilian. I'm going to play knight c3, and we'll try to play a grand pre-attack. No, we're not going to get a chance, probably. Let's see if they go knight d4. This is like everybody's playing this line these days. No, queen b6. Queen b6. So I have 2 ways to play this. You know what? I'll play the knight f3 line here. I usually play f4, but I'll try this one. Let me castle. He's probably going to bring his knight or play. Oh, now he goes here. Fascinating choice. Fascinating choice. Why am I playing a4? Because I want to play a5 and force this queen around. That's why. I want to play a5 next and make the queen move. Also want to play e5 and make the bishop move. I have a lot of things I want to do. The problem with e5 is he takes me and I end up losing the pawn. So I don't think we can get away with that. But I will play a5 like I wanted to. Okay, this is a threat. So let's play g3 or h3 to deal with it. I guess we'll go h3. So that's not a problem. What a strange position we have. What a very strange position. Yeah, I don't know, I'm gonna play d3, just let my pieces out. This is super weird. I don't know where this bishop's going. I guess he's gonna put it over here. He's gonna castle first. Okay. Okay. I think I want to develop a piece. Last piece not developed. Guess we get it out there. Wasn't expecting that move. Bishop f4. Why did he go there? Because he wants to move this or something? Da-da-dun, da-dun, 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 da-dun. I mean, I kind of wanted to take that, but not with the bishop sitting here. It doesn't seem like it's going to be so effective. All right, I'm going to go with this line to force some trades. Because I see that this pawn might be a target for me. It might be. We have to deal with the bishop first, obviously. So let's do that. But if I can figure out a way to get my queen lined up on that, I'm going to try. Let me trade. And if he takes with the pawn, you have to realize these guys, okay, these guys are double isolated pawns. So I have two very nice targets now. From a positional standpoint, I should be much better. Now, black has some nice piece activity. They've got the bishop, they've got the queen, they've got the knight. They're going to have a rook here. But positionally, this looks very, very bad for black, right? Okay, so they attack me. Let me move it. Now we're threatening rook e1 to force some trades, which should make this weakness more amplified as we get towards the end game, right? Okay, so bishop d7. All right, so what's the deal? Do we go with the trades? Yes, so let's force at least a trade of rooks. Okay, he goes for queen g5. Is it threatening anything? I don't think so. Actually, I don't need to give up the file. I just can move my queen and just let him take me. That would be the smart thing to do. So we'll go there. If, in general, trading is bad if you're going to just give up control of the file, right? So I'll just leave it. I'll just leave the tension. That way it's kind of split, right? It's half and half. Okay. He wants to push this, obviously. So here we go. Now I can start attacking the weak spot. Start attacking one of those guys. Okay, so he wants me to take, so I lose a rook. But we're not going to do that. Ooh, queen f4. Good move or bad move? What do you guys think? Good move or bad move? It's a bad move. Because rook takes e2. Brilliant move. If I take the queen, he takes me. If I take the rook, he takes my queen. That would be a huge blunder. We cannot go there. Rook e1, I mean, rook d1 allows this, which I don't really want to do. Trade those pawns. Okay. So we're going to go a6. And my plan is simple. If he takes me, It was a temporary pawn sacrifice. I can't take it right now, but later I'll get it. He's got even more double isolated pawns. Super bad. Okay. If he would have pushed, then I could have moved here, forced the queen away, and I didn't lose a pawn right away because it would have already been moved. So, all right, fine. Now, I think I'm more comfortable going here, forcing the queen, maybe taking one of these or something. There's also bishop d5, which gets pretty crazy. Bishop d5 is not out of the question. Okay. King f1 also, just to support these pieces, then it gives me more options. Yeah, let's do that. I like that better. Because now my knight's no longer pinned. This is no longer a major threat. I can also move my queen if I need to because this is no longer a threat. So king f1 kind of solves all my major problems. At least from what I can tell. See, like now I can even think about just doing that because I don't need my rook to guard these anymore. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Whoa. Now there's a wild move. There is a wild, wild move. So he's basically saying, if you take me, I take you, and I get my piece right back. Can I play queen f4 though? Okay, hold up. This is... So, okay, obviously knight h2 is the main threat, right? We can't let that happen. So queen f4 comes to mind. I can't play king g1 anymore because of this. I don't think I want to take because bishop g4 just looks... Oh, okay, unless I sacked 2 pieces for the queen, you know, something like this. But then he's going to start taking everything now. We don't think we want to do that, do we? Yeah, so queen f4, I said it was bad earlier because of rook e2, but then we just take. I think that position's okay for me. What I'm concerned about is the trade followed by knight h2 check. I have to move. He takes, I take. I think it's fine. I think it's fine. I do lose in exchange, but then my pieces get active. And he's got a bunch of bad pawns. So, like, all of these guys are probably going to be dropping off really quickly. He's probably going to take and go knight h2 and then take here. I expect. Other option would be rook e2 and play that position, but I don't know. Something about that feels okay for me because, again, he's got these weak pawns. Those rook is on the second rank, so there is that. Yeah, I'm expecting we see this one. They are really taking their time here. I don't think they've spent any time this whole game until just now. Yeah. They hardly spent any time. Yeah, I mean, rook takes e2 now. It's not as good as it was before, guys, because now there's a knight hanging. So yes, he can do that. And then takes. But then I at least get the knight back. So, okay, he does go for this trade instead. Right, so this is what I was saying. Knight f3, what a move. Didn't see that. Nice little in-between move to mess up my pawn structure. That was smart. I missed that one. Okay. So I'm down a knight for a rook, but like I said, he's got these bad pawns. It's not that simple. Like, this is looking pretty good for me, right? So it's not that simple. And as we saw in the last game, just because you're down in exchange doesn't mean the game is over, right? This is under attack too. Okay, so what do we want to start with here, guys? This one or this one? I feel like I should take this for some reason. I don't know why. No, let's do this first. I want to get the pressure on f7. Okay. Let's go take this one next. And then maybe we'll take that guy. Because I like that my bishop is holding this together. Okay. Yeah, I was afraid of this. I think we... All right, let's do it. This is also weak, so we can swing over here next. Probably going to go rook c7, rook g7. No, he doesn't. Just going to go ahead and try to trade one of these bad pawns off. I don't want to open up his rooks, and I want to open up my bishop for this tactic. So that's why we're going here. Yeah, f5 looks good. Go ahead and make the trade. He can't take it back because of that, so he sidesteps. And now what? Trade the rooks or not? I guess so. I don't know if this was the right decision or not. Hmm. I wish I had more time to think about this. Oh, why did I do that for? Okay. If I can get this pawn, I think we're okay. Yeah, he's not going to let me get it easily, though, is he? I don't know what is going on here, guys. I don't know what is going on. I'm just going to try to push this pawn to b7 as fast as I can. He, of course, is not going to want to let me do that. So maybe we go here and then we try to push it. This is fascinating, actually. Okay, once we get it to b7, his rook is stuck. Or his king. One of the pieces is going to be stuck there. I just have to try not to get flagged. I gotta stop talking so much. I guess I should be winning. Just gotta get my king out of off the side here. There we go. Now he can't stop me. Now he can't stop me. Just gotta go support that guy. And we got it. We've got it. That's all we have to do. Get over there. He can go there. No, he can't go there because we get a queen. So he can't. Okay. Now we force the rook. All right, all right. Get the queen. Don't stalemate. That's the only thing. Don't stalemate. That's not a stalemate. I do want to get another queen to make my life easy. Okay, okay. Rooks are overrated, I think. I think rooks are overrated in chess. And pawns are underrated, it seems like. All right, what happened in this game? What in the world happened? So, yes. Okay, Stockfish agrees. Black's position is bad. They have these ugly pawns. Great. Where did things go wrong for me? Okay, so Stockfish doesn't like that so much. Yeah, knight g4. Knight g4 was a brilliant move. So before I took this, if they would have played knight g4, I could just take. And then go here, which I don't know if I was noticing that. And end up getting the two pieces for the rook. No, wait. I'm up a piece. I'm just up a piece. I'm just up a piece. What am I saying? That's the key move. And even if they take, I get the two pieces for the rook. And I'm winning. Okay. All right. Got it. So that's what was going on initially. But after I moved my rook, now I don't have that response anymore. So now taking is just losing. It's just losing. I have no response here. And I'm just done for. I have to go over. Black can do this. They can take me, whatever they want. They're going to win. So knight g4 was a great move. Queen f4 was okay. I should have played queen g3. I didn't consider queen g3 for some reason. Have I played the Smith-Morra gambit? Yes, I have played it a few times. I haven't studied it in depth. I know there's a lot of lines that you could learn, and so that's why I haven't really played it. But yes, I've looked at it. It looks like it would be fun if I actually took the time to learn it. Yeah, he plays this knight f3 move. Very, very nice. Okay. So we get this position. Slightly better for black. But it's not that simple. Like I said, all these pawns were very weak. f5, good move. Takes. Oh, Stockfish says take with the pawn. Why? Why is it so much better to take with the pawn, I wonder? Why does leaving the rooks on in this position help me? I'm not sure, but that's what Stockfish says. You should have left the rooks on. Okay. Supposedly it's a draw with best play. But at this point, my bishop is actually really powerful. It's stopping the rook from checkmating me, from forcing me to leave. It's stopping the check here. It's supporting all the pawns. And it's helping to... Yeah, it's very tough for black. And sure enough, they end up getting into a losing position. Really interesting endgame. Really interesting endgame. Yeah, thank you, Big L. Maybe next time I'll try the Smith-Morra. Is this the same person that we played before? Was this the... hold on. Was this the one person that I was like, wait a second? Yes. I don't think this is a good idea. It's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to abort. There we go. I don't think that's a good idea. Roberto. Let's go with e4. Caro Khan. Okay. Play knight f6. I mean, I guess I'll play f3. I'm just going to develop. I'm just going to kind of leave this like this. If they want to take me, fine. If not, I'll probably just leave it. Queen d2. I'm okay sacrificing this pawn because I like that I get a lot of compensation there. They don't want to take it, which is fine. I think I'll probably defend here now because they are threatening to take and then take with the knight, right? Because of the pin. So I'm going to put the bishop there. Getting ready to do this. a5, I don't think I understand that move. Why would you play a5? What could be the reason? a5? I have no idea. I'm going to just carry on like nothing happened. Bring out my knight, get ready to castle. I have no idea. Oh, there we go. They wanted to push it all the way down to here. All right. All right. I'll play a3. Why not? I will have a decision to make here. Nope. They just go back. Okay. I think I'm going to castle. Again, I don't even think they can take this because their queen actually gets trapped. So it's not even something to calculate. It's just a poison pawn that they can't accept, right? They take, I go here, and the queen is trapped. So I don't know what this did for black, but I like my position now. I've got all my pieces out. My king is safe. And I'm ready to start looking for ways to attack and maybe see if we can get to this king somehow. So how can we do that? Well, I guess first things first, let me not get ahead of myself. Every time someone makes a move in chess, you always have to stop and ask yourself, why did they go there? Did they make any mistakes? Was it like a blunder or something? I think that was just a mistake because now their pawn is undefended. So I guess I could just take a free pawn. So kind of changes my plan of going to attack the king when there's just a free pawn, right? Okay, so we took the free pawn. Now I don't want to leave my knight where it's a liability, so I'll just go back. Mr. Nelgen, hey, take it easy. Have a good evening. Thanks for being here. Knight c7, huh? Okay. Okay. Maybe I'll play b4. Just kind of cramp down on black's position a little bit. If they had any plans of trying to play c5, they can't really do it now. Okay, let's just talk briefly about does sacrificing this make sense? No. It's actually defended by the knight, so we can't even sack that. We could play a4 maybe at some point, but I think for right now I'm going to focus on maybe the center or over here. You could trade this, because if they take this way, then it is a weak pawn. If they take this way, it opens up the e-file. We could push this, the knight moves, then we try to push our pawns. Seems pretty good. We could bring our knight somewhere. I don't know why we would want to do that. All right, maybe we could play e5. Play e5. And I think I'm just going to go f4 next, f5 here, and now we've got an attack going. If black does decide to castle, we still have an attack going. Our pieces are lined up in that direction. But also if they stay in the center, we've got a nice attack going. Yeah, let's continue. Of course, there's knight c4. I'll happily trade this bishop. I say that. I guess I could also play queen c1. But no, I think I would happily trade and play f6 or something. They decide to take. Okay, let's go ahead. Let's recapture. I like that we've opened up the f file here. Yes, I'm allowing knight c4, but it's not the end of the world. I'm just going to move my queen. Okay, we'll move. And we are ready to potentially attack here. We are up a pawn. So if we do need to go into an endgame and trade off some pieces, that's probably fine. Let's see. Are they attacking something? No. So I'm going to go ahead, attack this. I mean, yes, if they want to take here, they can, but this looks much more dangerous for black, so I think we're fine. And if they let me, I might play bishop c1 to deal with this from the queen. I don't actually know. Maybe I don't even need to worry about that. Maybe we just keep attacking, I think. Just look for ways to keep the pressure going here. First, let's see. Oh, they're actually going to... Okay, they're going to let me do this. All right, fine. No, this looks super dangerous for black. Just have to figure out why. Queen f5 is one thing. So I can't sack because then the queen actually comes back and defends, unfortunately. So how do we get rid of this knight? This knight is a problem, right? So like knight f4, I'd like to play knight f4, but then then we have a check, win the queen. Okay, that's interesting. So we could play knight f4. I like it. I like it. So I wanted to go here, guys, but then I thought I couldn't go there because of the rook. But then I noticed I had a tactic which allowed me to actually be able to do that. So here we go. Because if we get rid of the knight, then things start to fall apart around the king, at least I think. Let me just take this. Sacking doesn't make sense when the queen can come back. Yeah, let me take this. Was that a mouse slip? Maybe he went to go here? Must have been a mouse slip, right? Oh, that's too bad for the opponent. They must have been going here. Still don't know if I believe in that move because I think we were just going to go on the offensive, but it's even worse now because I could just take it. Should I take it or should I just keep attacking? Let's see. So queen f5 actually threatens checkmate. Yes. So we don't have to worry about the knight. But I could just take it first and then go there. Only because if he goes back, he actually stops my checkmate threat. Okay. Hold up. All right, fine. Let's take the rook. Okay, so queen f5 threatens checkmate. Check. Check. And then we move the knight mate. So black has to deal with that. They don't have time to take this. Maybe they go queen back. Nope. That's not the move. That's a beautiful checkmate with the knight. I guess they missed that one. We got the brilliant move. Okay, a bit of a mess that game, but we did get it. I thought I had a brilliant move. No? Didn't it say brilliant? It changed its mind. After it analyzed it, it's like, no, actually, you didn't have a brilliant move. We take that back. Ooh. It wanted queen f5 right now. And then bishop g5. Ah, because of checkmate. I didn't see that. All right. Come on, guys. Let's go. Let's get to 2400. Let's get to 2400. We're close. We're really close. Oh, I have to do a check. Hold on. I have to do a check because it's a new account. Wait a second. Oh, 900 rated blitz player. Ooh. Ooh. 200 bullet. No, I'm sorry, my friend. That's something doesn't seem right about that. Something. Okay. This person's studying chess 24 hours a day. Okay, somebody super chatted for the Smith Mora, so let's try it. Let's try the Smith Mora. They decline it, which is probably the boring thing to do. All right, well, so much for that. Let me think about this. How do we want to set up our pieces here? I'll go knight f3 first. I'll castle. And I think I will do... Do I want to do Maroxy bind or not against this Cheeto here? And we'll just go Ricky 1 because I want to probably play E5 at some point, so I'm just getting ready for it. Queen c7. Let's just put the knight back here. With the knight on f1, black has no fun. That's what they say, right? Black has no fun. All right, we'll just put the bishop here. I don't know what I'm doing. Black's trying to have some fun. They are trying to have some fun, aren't they? Let's bring out the queen. I want to make a space for my rook to go. Okay, I'll trade that guy. And the reason I trade is because I'm thinking about playing f4. First, I want to save my bishop. I don't want my bishop to get captured. So I think I will drop it back. And I'm keeping an eye on this f4 move. I'm not sure if now is the right moment, but I'm definitely paying attention to it. I might want to get my rook in position first. Maybe rook d1, and then we can think about this. Okay, so they obviously stopped that, at least for the time being. Let's go ahead, bring the rook to the center. Can't go wrong with that. And you'll notice I've left my pawns like this intentionally because I don't have any weaknesses that they can really take advantage of. So I'm going to be hesitant to move that. I'll play h3. This just seems like a nice square to control. And notice I didn't create any new weaknesses. This move, I still have lots of control over g3 with my other pieces. So I'm not really missing that, right? So I want to be thinking through these kind of things. Ooh. They caught me off guard. That was very smart. Obviously, I don't want to make this trade and have these awful pawns. I didn't see that. I have to go back. That was a good move. Ooh. That was a very good move. I didn't see it. Of course, they're going to take. That was strange. Anyway, they're going to play rook c8. And then I have to figure out if I can hold on to this pawn or if I have to lose a pawn. Let's try. We'll try to defend. I don't know if we're going to be able to do it. Wow. This guy with the fancy moves. This guy with all the fancy moves. Okay. Of course, I can't take it. There's a pin here. But I don't think they really want to take this. Yeah, they're just trying to set up something here. Okay, so at least I think I can get away from the pin now. That's the good news. I think I can get away from the pin. Ah, no, but then they win a... Then they win the pawn. I can't get away from the pin. Okay. All right, so let's go here instead. Let's go here and try to jump into d5. They're going to go back. And if I jump in, we get a trade. They bring the rook over. Oh, they go for the rook first. Okay, but now I can go here and play c4. Finally. Okay. So we have to get away from this pin. That's the most important thing, because once we get away from the pin, we can push the pawn forward. and it's no longer a weakness, right? So this was actually a good moment for us here because we're threatening the bishop. So they don't have time to take our pawn. They have to move the bishop back, and now we can play c4. It's a bit of a mess, but I think we're finally getting into a decent position again. Okay, still I don't like this monster bishop. I would not have allowed this, but I totally missed going back to this position. I totally missed knight c4. It was a great move. If I was paying attention, I would have played something like queen c1 or, yeah, something to avoid knight c4. But okay, so here we go. This is the target. The problem if I go here is I'm in a pin, so you can play like b5 and take me. So I might need to play queen b1. So now there's no pin here. Okay. Let's go rook e2. We've got this covered, so we're not losing material there. Okay, let's go defend the pawn. We can recapture here. Kind of just playing defense this game. I don't feel like I've had a chance to do much, though. Sometimes that's how it goes. You gotta defend for a while, and if you can defend long enough and accurately enough, you know, you can win games that way too. That's what we're going for. Okay, we have to watch out for the rook coming here. I'm going to jump in, see if we can trade this off. I don't think they'll want to let that knight sit there, but you never know. They might. Okay, they do trade it. Okay, let's take back, I guess, with the bishop, because if I take here, the rooks could invade at some point. This way they can't ever really invade. And so we keep the black rooks out of the position, right? Meanwhile, maybe I can try to attack over here somehow. Okay, this is a threat. So let's get away from the pin. Keep everything kind of defended. Queen, queen. I'm looking for ways to attack over here. Plays bishop f6, probably a good move. I might play a4 here, just so I don't have to worry about my rook guarding that pawn anymore. Notice how everything's defended by itself over here. So even if my queen and two rooks had to totally leave, bishop's holding everything together. There's no way for black to bust through unless they want to do some kind of a sacrifice, which could very well happen at some point. What to do now is the question. Not really much I can do, actually. We can offer a queen trade. I don't know if they're going to take it. It's kind of drawish. Although the opponent does seem very slow. Maybe we can make something happen in the end game. They're going to go back, I presume. Maybe I could play g4. g4, okay. I don't think that weakens too much. So what's our plan? Well, we want to play g5, make the bishop move, and then we come down for the... It's not checkmate, but it's very good. So what are they going to do to stop that? Probably... Rook f8, or push this to try to activate this. You can't do that. So rook f8 is one move. g5 would be another move to not allow me to play g5, but that's queen d4. Didn't think about that. Okay. So we do get the queen trade. I'm going to try to stop g5, keep some pawns on the dark squares to get some control, and then maybe here in f4. Because if I can get this and this... Yeah, if I can get f4 and g5, then I can win this pawn, right? I'm threatening to win the pawn. Of course, they can just defend it. But... Wait, what? What is that? Am I missing something, guys? Can I not just go here? What am I missing? What am I missing? Ah, he wants to like somehow let me take it and then go there. Very sneaky. Let's get the king off the dark squares first. There's some sort of trick, I think. Yep, that's exactly what was going on. Wow. Okay. I mean, I have more space than black. But how do we get through, right? How do we get through? That is the big question. Let's try to play f5 here. Although that does allow bishop e5. Okay, maybe... Let's see, maybe we do play g5 and put our king and then try to play these guys. Okay, he's threatening to take this. No, he's not. We just take it. Okay, yeah, this is not a threat. We just take and it defends the rook. But our opponent only has a minute and a half, so... I think practically speaking, we have a very good chance to win on time. D5. I didn't see that one. Interesting. Maybe I have to come over here. I mean, they're spending like 20 seconds on almost every move. So I don't know. We'll see if they're capable of playing any faster. If not, I'm just going to win on time. So I don't want to create a target for myself here. Let's see. How do we do this? How do we do this? Of course, it's a draw, but I'm going to try to play it out. Maybe they'll make a mistake somewhere. Maybe I'll make a mistake somewhere. King here, king here. Uh-oh. Did I mess this up? Let's see. Here. Can't go there, so I have to go here. Man. I don't know. I'm really curious about this game review. Yeah, I mean... Guy couldn't checkmate with a queen. I guess it's possible. I guess it's possible. This was the most suspicious moment of the game, honestly. Like you, if you saw this, 100%, you're gonna take the bishop. There's no reason to go there and not take the bishop. I don't know. Felt weird. But he should have been able to checkmate at the end. Like 2 seconds. Could have put up a better fight. Ooh, we got a 25-7. Oh, wait a second. Wait a second. Mm. Mm. I don't know. I'm afraid. I'm sorry, guys. Maybe it's legit. I'm just afraid. You don't see very many 2,500 rated players. And if the account was just created a few months ago, like that's pretty scary. Oh, here's another one. July 20. Okay. Okay. Hold on. I'm so close to 2,400. I don't want to throw it away to a rice cooker. Person plays 100-minute games. 100 minutes. Wait, this one seems legit. This one seems legit. I'll play. We see it again. Budapest Gambit. I'm going to try to trick him. Try to trick him with the trap here. H3 would be what we're hoping for. And knight c3 would be a better move. So, bad move, good move. Oh, we got him. We got him. We got him for the trap. All right. Now, can we finish off the game and win? That is the question. Aha. Budapest Gambit for the win. Or let's see if it's for the win. Should be. So they fell for the trap, but the game is not over. They still have 2 pieces for the queen. There's still a lot of game left to be played. We played this in our tournament. So Chess Vibes Academy members, we get this tournament every month and we play this. And people from both sides were winning. Like both colors were winning. I think it's a bad move. I think it's a bad move because now I'm leaving my queen sit there and these guys are just pinned. I don't think that was a great decision. I'm going to play knight c6. Just leaving the queen there, keeping everything stuck. Let's go here. Threaten the knight, which cannot move because the rook. Now I'll take it. And yes, you can move your bishop here and attack my queen. Yeah, but now I can actually just take it. And when the dust settles, I'm going to have a whole bunch of extra pieces, I think. And by a whole bunch of extra pieces, I mean an extra rook. So takes. There's the 2 pieces. There's the 2 pieces. There's a rook. There's a rook. I have 1 extra rook. So, yeah, we're just totally winning. So, this is where playing in that tournament with all of you guys actually helped me a lot. He decides to not take my queen and instead go for this position, which is even worse for him because now he has 2 bishops against 2 rooks. But, okay. Anyway, I was going to say, this is why playing in that monthly tournament is actually helpful because I had a lot of practice playing these positions, right? And so I knew exactly what to keep my eyes open for, all the tactics, the different ideas in the position, right? And so, yeah, that was very helpful. All right, so we're just totally winning. I think as long as we don't do anything crazy, we should win this easily. Let's castle, get the rook involved. I'll play f6 to shut down the knight as well as the bishop all at the same time. We're going to bring this rook over. Actually, I don't know if I want to give up that for free. Let me think about this. Yeah, maybe I don't want to give that away for free. I mean, I don't have to. Let's go back. Let's go invade. Attack the bishop. Puts me in check. No problem. I think I'll just go here. Okay, let's just move back. Attack the bishop again. I would love to trade one of these bishops for my knight. I'm going to be looking for an opportunity to do that. Should make my life a lot easier. Okay. Like here? Okay, hold on. If I go check, if he takes with the knight, then I can get the bishop. If he takes with the bishop, then I can get the other bishop. So essentially, this is exactly what I wanted. It forces a trade. It forces a trade of my knight for one of his bishops, right? Exactly what I wanted. So there we go. We got one of those annoying bishops. And now I think it gets a little easier for us, hopefully. Pawns are even, so I could even, in theory, sacrifice a rook for one of these at the right moment, but probably don't need to do that. Let's bring my... Actually, I could just take this, can't I? The free pawn. May as well take it. Jump up here. Here, maybe? Or I just go hunt that guy. What should I do? What should I do? Yeah, I'll go here. Gonna try to take this guy. Of course, if a4, then no, he doesn't do it. All right, let me take it. Okay. Yeah, see, like right here, this might be a good moment to just simplify my life. Obviously, don't have to do that. I'm just thinking about it. Just thinking about it. Yeah, let's go ahead. Take that. Put the rook behind the passed pawn, and now it's a pretty easy endgame. Of course, I didn't have to do that, but sometimes it's just easier. Let's just get the pawn rolling here. Let's get the other pawn to assist. And the nice thing about this setup is the king has to stay there, because if the king ever leaves, we just push. So I've tied down that piece, which means now my king is kind of free to just jump around and start taking stuff. Let's defend. A4, I'll probably go rook over here. Oh, I can't go rook over there. Huh. Okay, let's go up here. A4 would have been an interesting move, but I could have still played rook c5. So now we're going to come in here, take the pawn. Let's go ahead. Okay, we may even be able to play it anyway. Let's see. Yeah, he has no way to get this knight in front. So we can just sack it and win. If the knight could get in front, it would be a different story. But since the knight can't, we just win with the pawn. Oh, okay. All right, now I'm going to sack it and win this way. So the king has to stay guarding these. Meanwhile, my king can just take all the pawns. Yeah. Oh, 93. 93 with the brilliant move. Budapest gambit for the win. Fell right into the trap, even at the 2300 level on Rapid and chess.com. That's pretty crazy. And then, yeah, so like this idea of going here, taking this, and then sacrificing my queen was something I had already thought about when I played in the Chess Vibes Academy tournament. And so, yeah, it's actually very helpful that we do those tournaments every month. So, cool. All right, guys, I didn't quite make it to 2400, 2398. I think I'm going to stop here and pick it up next time. Thank you guys for being here. I hope this was helpful. I hope you learned something. See you guys next week. Stay sharp, play smart, take care.